Hello everyone. Welcome back to the Top Time channel. We will explore the fascinating world of libraries, but not all libraries. We dive into the top 10 most unusual libraries in the world. Get ready for a journey filled with extraordinary architecture, breathtaking design, and impressive collections. So, without further ado, let's go. 10. The Danish Royal Library. The Royal Library serves as the National Library of Denmark and the University Library of the University of Copenhagen. It has the distinction of being one of the largest libraries in the world and the largest in the Nordic countries. In 2017 it merged with the State and University Library in Aarhus to form the Royal Danish Library. The library houses an extensive collection of historical treasures, including copies of all works printed in Denmark since the 17th century. It contains a comprehensive selection of Danish printed works, beginning with the first Danish books printed by Johan Snell in 1482 thanks to generous donations received over the years. Founded in 1648 by King Frederick III, the library opened its doors to the public in 1793. It has undergone several mergers over time, including with the prestigious Copenhagen University Library in 1989 and the Danish National Library for Science and Medicine in 2005. Today, the Royal Library operates at 5 sites, including the main library at Slotsholmen in Copenhagen, the libraries for the Sciences and Medicine departments, the Social Sciences and Humanities, and the Law School Library. The annual circulation of the library reaches 11.4 million loans, about 32,196 active users. The iconic Black Diamond Building, completed in 1999, adjoins the original structure. Designed by Danish architect Schmidt Hammer Lassen, it features a black marble and glass facade and includes not only a library, but also a concert hall. The interior of the building boasts an 8-story atrium with undulating white walls and panoramic views of the sea and the sumptuous buildings of Christianshavn. The library continues to play an important role in the preservation of the Danish literary heritage and in providing access to knowledge for its users. 9. Liyuan Library. The Liyuan Library, designed by Li Xiaodong Atelier, located on the outskirts of Beijing. It serves as a contemporary addition to the village, providing a small library and reading space that blend in with the serene natural landscape. Instead of building the library in the center of the village, the site was carefully chosen in the nearby mountains, within walking distance. This decision was influenced by the breathtaking beauty of the surrounding nature. The design of the building draws inspiration from its surroundings, blending seamlessly into the landscape through the use of carefully selected materials and thoughtful placement of the structure. The space inside the library is thoughtfully designed to create a variety of experiences. The use of steps and level changes creates separate areas and also creates a view of the surrounding landscape. The building is predominantly glazed, which allows daylight to penetrate inside. The wooden sticks act as a filter, diffusing the light and creating the perfect reading atmosphere. Liyuan Library is an example of a harmonious combination of architecture and nature. Its modest yet impressive design pays homage to the rustic context and provides a serene retreat for reading and contemplation amid picturesque landscapes. 8. George Peabody Library. The George Peabody Library, located on the Peabody campus in Baltimore, Maryland, is a prominent research library affiliated with Johns Hopkins University. It was originally established as the library of the Peabody Institute of Music and is dedicated to the study of the 19th century. The library is open to the public, in line with George Peabody's vision of creating a freely accessible resource. George Peabody, a prosperous merchant and philanthropist, gave $300,000 to fund the Peabody Institute in 1857. However, due to disruptions caused by the American Civil War, the opening and construction of the institute was delayed until 1866. librarian John Morris and the Library Committee carefully cataloged the collections of famous libraries in the United States and Europe. Their efforts resulted in the identification of 50,000 books that were purchased regardless of the problems and associated costs, creating a model for collection development in academic libraries. The George Peabody Library boasts a collection of over 300,000 volumes that focuses on the 19th century, just as Peabody wanted. It covers a wide range of subjects including religion, British art and architecture, American history and literature, Romance languages and literature, scientific history and geography. The collection includes notable works such as first editions by authors such as Poe, Hawthorne, Melville and Mencken, Diderot's Encyclopedia, early editions of Don Quixote, maps of Maryland and Baltimore, natural history tomes, first edition of Darwin's On the Origin of Species. The interior of the library is renowned for its beauty and is often considered one of the most stunning libraries in the world. The library's atrium, designed by Edmund G. Lind in collaboration with Nathaniel H. Morrison, resembles a book cathedral. The visually charming Neo-Greek interior includes a 61-foot-high atrium with black and white marble flooring, a lattice skylight, ornate cast-iron balconies, and gold crenellated columns that hold tightly packed stacks of books. 7. Stadtbibliothek Stuttgart. Stadtbibliothek Stuttgart is the public library of Stuttgart, Germany. It consists of a central library, 17 district libraries and 2 bookmobiles operated by the city's cultural department. In 2013, it was recognized as the Library of the Year in Germany. The Central Library, previously housed in the historic Wilhelmspalace building from 1965 to 2011, was moved to the newly built Stadtbibliothek im Mailander Platz. The new library, designed by Untitled, is a striking monolithic cube that houses all the ancient libraries under one roof. It has become a prominent landmark of the city and the Euroviertel district. The interior of the library was created to create a meditative atmosphere in the noisy city center. The centerpiece of the building is the heart of the library, an archaic central space spanning 4 floors with no specific library functions. The building draws inspiration from a variety of sources, including the Roman Pantheon, a proposal from the Bibliothèque Nationale de France, Noah's Ark, and Stanley Kubrick's 2001, A Space Odyssey. The library's layout consists of tiered rooms reminiscent of onion skins, with glass block facades, glass interior facades, and access points. The central air spaces are accentuated by spiral staircases and funnel-shaped halls, symbolizing connection with the outside world and the pursuit of knowledge. Each floor has a studio reminiscent of Renaissance study rooms. All in all, the Stadtbibliothek Stuttgart is an architectural marvel that blends historical influences with contemporary design, offering visitors a relaxed and inspiring atmosphere. 6. Seattle Central Library. Located in downtown Seattle, Washington, Seattle Central Library is the flagship library of the Seattle Public Library System. The 11-story glass and steel building, designed by Rem Koolhaas and Joshua Prince Ramus of OMA/LMN, opened to the public on May 23, 2004. The library covers an area of 362,987 square feet and holds approximately 1.5 million books and materials. It offers underground public parking, over 400 public computers, and attracted over 2 million visitors in its first year. The library is the third, located at 1000 4th Avenue, replacing its predecessors due to size restrictions and seismic concerns. The previous Seattle Carnegie Library, which opened in 1906, had become too small for the city's growing population. A second library was built on the same site in 1960, but faced the same space constraints and seismic risks. The second library was demolished to make way for the current Seattle Central Library, funded by a bond and a $20 million donation from Bill Gates. The library has been recognized for its innovation in structural engineering and has been awarded the American Engineering Council (ACEC) Platinum Award for Innovation in Engineering. The layout and complexity of the library has been the subject of a study that has explored the interplay between building design and individual differences in the ability to navigate. Despite criticism, the Seattle Central Library has become an iconic building in the city and continues to serve as a preeminent cultural and educational institution. 5. Bibliotheca Alexandrina. The Library of Alexandria, located in Alexandria, Egypt, is a famous library and cultural center. It serves as a reminder of the ancient Library of Alexandria, which was one of the largest libraries in the world but was lost in ancient times. The idea to revive the library arose in 1974, and construction began in 1995. The complex was officially opened on October 16, 2002 at a cost of approximately $220 million. The library has shelves for 8 million books and a 20,000 square meter main reading room. It also includes a conference center, specialized libraries for various purposes, for museums, for art galleries, permanent and temporary exhibitions, a planetarium, and a manuscript restoration laboratory. An architectural design competition for the library was organized by UNESCO in 1988, and the winning design by the Norwegian architectural firm Snøhetta was selected from over 1,400 entries. The Bibliotheca Alexandrina is trilingual, with collections in classical Arabic, English, and French. In 2010, it received a donation of 500,000 books from the Bibliothèque Nationale de France, making it the 6th largest francophone library in the world. The architecture of the library is noteworthy. The main reading room, with a 32-meter roof with glass panels and walls made of gray Aswan granite, is decorated with symbols from 120 fonts. The library has entered into a partnership with the Internet Archive, acting as a platform for the first mirror and external backup of the archive. The partnership aims to preserve heritage and ensure universal access to human knowledge. The Internet Archive has provided a significant amount of data, including web pages, TV shows, films, and scanning tools for local books. The Library of Alexandria is a testament to the intellectual and cultural heritage of Alexandria, offering many resources and acting as a center for education, research, and cultural exchange. 4. British Library. The British Library, located in London, is the National Library of the United Kingdom and one of the 2 largest libraries in the world. It houses an extensive collection of over 170 million to 200 million items from around the world, including books, manuscripts, magazines, newspapers, records, maps, stamps, and more. As a legal deposit library, it receives copies of all books published in the UK and Ireland. The library was founded in 1973 and was previously part of the British Museum. Its main building, opened in 1998, is a Grade I listed building and is known for its exceptional architecture. The library's collections include about 14 million books and a significant number of manuscripts dating back to 2000 BC. Every year, the company acquires about 3 million new items. The library has additional storage in a reading room in Boston Spa, West Yorkshire. It also houses the Asia-Pacific Africa, APAC, collections and the documentation collection. Access to the library's collections is open to anyone who really needs research and has a reader pass. The library offers a variety of online resources, including access to images, sound recordings, and digital collections. It has a commercial e-delivery service and collaborates with other institutions on digitization projects. The library's exhibitions feature items from its collections, and it has a dedicated portal for management and business research. The library is committed to providing access to its collections and promoting research and teaching. 3. Birmingham Library. The modern Birmingham Library was built in 2013 in England between the Birmingham Theatre and the Baskerville House. With its architectural solution, the library completely transforms the appearance of the central square of the city. It attracts residents primarily for its central location and versatility, catering to a variety of demographics. People come to work, attend events, and relax on the terraces. The library offers guided tours for children, and tourists come to Birmingham specifically to see one of England's most modern libraries. The Birmingham Library was built as part of a city centre development project, replacing the former Central Library. Of the 100 participants in the architectural competition for the construction of the building, the Dutch firm Mecanu became the winner. Construction began in 2010 and was completed within 3 years. The architecture firm designed the library as a place of education and culture, bringing together people of all ages and backgrounds. The design organically integrates the space of the street into the building. The first 2 floors of the library are made of glass, which provides an overview of the interior from the outside. 3 stacked metal cubes form a terrace, while an interconnected ring structure forms an openwork facade. Light passes through it, creating a shadowy pattern on the floor. The main materials used include natural stone, white ceramic, oak, glass, and metal. On the roof of the library is a rotunda that houses the Shakespeare Memorial Room. It was created in 1882 for the old Birmingham Library and carefully transferred to the new library. The library has received the highest BREEAM environmental rating. The library is connected to the REP Theatre, which can accommodate 300 spectators. 2. Calgary Central Library. The Calgary Central Library is located in Alberta, Canada. It is integrated into a complex urban development. The railway and city stations are located nearby. The railroad tracks run through the library and disappear smoothly under the building. Located in downtown Calgary, the library is surrounded by high-rise buildings. In 2012, more than 16,000 people took part in the discussion of the library project to make it convenient and functional for everyone. Norwegian firm Snøhetta won the architectural competition. Construction began in 2013 and was completed in 2018. Craig Dykers, founder of Snøhetta, refers to his team as environment managers rather than architects. This approach defines the whole concept of the library, which is primarily a space for inspiration and human interaction, and not just a place to lend out books. Guests are greeted by a wooden undulating facade that continues inside the building, maintaining a material and dynamic theme. The design of the library allows you to see the entire building at a glance. The space is designed in such a way that the higher you go, the more light fills the interior. In an interview, Craig Dykers emphasizes that dynamic forms should inspire and energize people. 1. Oodi Central Library. The modern library is located in the center of Helsinki, Finland. It is located near the railway square, government buildings, music center, main street, and residential areas. In addition to reading, the library offers exhibitions, film screenings, and a restaurant. The Finnish government conceived Oodi as a hub for the entire library network in the country. An architectural competition was held and won by the Finnish firm ALA Arkkitehdit. The library opened in 2018 and is now considered a hallmark of Finnish architecture. The Finns call it the living room of the city, as it is functional and focused on local residents. The library has an unconventional shape, reminiscent of a ship sailing on the waves. The building is made in the form of a bridge supported by 2 pillars. Kansalaistory Square smoothly passes into the basement of the library, creating an urban environment inside. This was done so that residents could continue their route through the library without feeling obstructed. The structure is made of glass, steel, and wood, using local materials. The facade is finished with spruce, the balcony is pine, the floor of the 3rd floor is oak. Light enters the library through a glass balcony and round skylights. Almost all 3 floors consist of open spaces and also have areas for quiet work. Books occupy only a third of the library, while the rest of the space is devoted to cafes, cinemas, exhibition halls, and co-working spaces. The library was named Oodi at the suggestion of the people of Helsinki. The library was conceived as a place that brings together people of different ages and cultures. Consequently, the main staircase is adorned with words describing various groups of people such as Finns, citizens, children, linguists, and others. Oodi was named the world's best library in 2019 by IFLA. Thank you all for watching. Please subscribe and like. See you soon.